Hey guys, I'm back. We got a PETA Kitty Cat and a Tato the Destroyer chowing down behind me. So if you hear some random crunchies, there you go. Today we're looking at something from Bestech Knives. One of their relatively new designs, not a brand new design, but one I just got my hands on. We looked at a Bestech knife previously on the channel and I was actually pretty impressed. We looked at the Bestech Warwolf, not the werewolf, but the Warwolf. Overall, really, actually great fit and finish, beautiful blade. It performed really well in all of our little tests and everything, and is really a very nice piece to carry around, gotta say. Great action. I'm excited to see something else from Bestech. I think they are one of those companies that is really kind of trying to rebound the reputation of Chinese-made knives being pieces of crap. These guys obviously put time into their design, time into their manufacturing process, choose good materials. They produce a really nice knife for a relatively affordable price. Now, this is more than you're going to pay for your average EDC knife from Kershaw, we'll say, for example. But it's definitely more than stuff like Ganzo or Kubi. But you get a little bit more for that price too. You get a really, really well-made knife. And in the time I've carried this one around, just to put it in the pocket and carry it, I'd put it up against some really well-made American knives. I won't get too much into it. We'll stick to this one. I'll also say this is another knife I got from Massdrop. And we'll talk more about Massdrop as we go, and the cool referral code in the video description and why that's good for everybody. But let's take a look at this Bestech. It is the Swordfish. Nice simple packaging, which is cool, professional looking, you know. This is a pretty nice sized knife. Now, with the deal on Massdrop, you could choose one of, I think, 3 or 4 different G10 combinations. The one I really wanted is OD green and black, but that was already spoken for and sold out by the time I jumped in on this drop. So I went with the beige, which I think actually looks pretty nice. There's also an orange one I saw, and I think maybe a brown. But if you take a look at the finishing there, you cannot feel any difference in the 2 pieces of G10. They are milled perfectly. Fit and finish on this one, again, is outstanding. This is a G10 backspacer, not a plastic backspacer. A lot of knife companies will give you nice G10 scales, but then throw a piece of plastic in the backspacer. I don't know why they do that. Centering, dead, perfect, pretty much. Might be just like a millimeter over to the right on this one. I don't know, but overall, I mean, it looks really, really well finished. Really like it. Again, suffers the same clip that the Warwolf came with. Not a deep carry clip. I think this knife, especially with the clip being mounted that high, so you can make the argument that on the one hand it doesn't need a deep carry clip because the clip is mounted so high, but I would say how perfect would this be with a deep carry clip so virtually none of this knife stuck out of your pocket at all while you were carrying it. Clip, no options. None. You are going to carry this right-handed, tip up, like it or not. And again, for me, that's cool. For those of you who don't like that, sorry. You get nothing. No soup for you. Let's go ahead and open this guy up. Oh, beautiful flipping action. Most of these Bestech knives are mounted on bearings, and this one is just so smooth. Let's see. Let's push button it. A little difficult because of the shape, but you know, light switch flipper. Easy. Beautiful blade. Their satin finish is always really, really nice. So D2 carbon steel. We all know the pros and cons, or you know, maybe we don't all know the pros and cons. So carbon steel gonna hold that edge for a while for you. You're gonna have to do a little bit of upkeep on that blade to keep it looking this beautiful and shiny and not rusted. But you know, as long as you take care of your knife, not too bad. I don't have the specs in front of me, but of course the specs will be on the screen. It's looking like what, about a 4-inch blade to me, give or take. Nice handle, a little narrow, but long enough that it'll fit in the biggest hands. Thumb ramp right there with jimping. Jimping almost, if you're not looking at it from the right angle, you almost can't see it, but it's pretty good. Comfortable, honestly, think the Warwolf is a little bit more comfortable with the curve in the handle there, but this one is pretty comfortable too. And it has a little bit more real estate to grab onto. Just really digging the blade shape there. It's long. It's got a good width, and once again the video is turning dirty. But lots of steel there. Reminds me of a sword. I can see why they call this one the Swordfish. Any generalized cutting, slicing tasks you have, looks like this one would be a real good winner for that. Good early lockup. While the liner lock itself is a little bit thin, if you look at it compared to the blade, it's almost 50% the width of the blade. So that's a pretty good ratio there, in my opinion, of lock to blade to hold it nice and shut. I guess the real question is this going to hold? And I'd say yes, it is. No stickiness, blade hasn't traveled any, still opens beautifully. Cool. Excellent. Bestech, I've heard great things about them. I've only owned the one so far, but this one looks really good. We're going to test the blade in a second. Before we do that, let's talk about the average price of this. I think pricing it out, the cheapest I found was about $51 on Amazon. On Massdrop, I was able to grab this thing for $39.99, which is a really great price. And that's one of the great things about Massdrop. So I've been talking about Massdrop since somebody turned me onto the website. It's a really great, they have so much stuff. Now, obviously, I'm only interested in a few different categories, but, it's really good to check out. So I saved myself a good chunk of change getting this knife on Massdrop. I mean, the way it works is the more people that buy into every specific drop, so every different item, the cheaper it ends up getting at the end. I mentioned a referral code in the video description. If you scroll down, you take a look at that video description, you'll see that referral code. If you're not already a member of Massdrop, it only works for new members. It's, if you're already signed up in Massdrop, oh well. But what happens is, the way that using that code helps out this channel, when people sign up using that referral code, when 5 of you guys end up buying anything, whatever, or one person buys 5 things or whatever it is, that gives me some credit towards buying other stuff for the channel. This particular referral code, though, is really cool because whenever any one of you signs up for Massdrop with it and then buys something, you get a $10 credit towards your next purchase, and I get a $10 credit on the channel account for cool stuff. So that's a great way for those of you who want to help out the channel and get yourself some great deals on stuff. You get to save a few dollars on some cool stuff that you might have gotten anyway, or that you might have not even seen out there, but that you might want to grab. Then you get yourself $10 towards the next item, and you help this channel get more cool stuff for the future. So here's how it's going to work. Anybody that signs up with that referral code, number one, I'm going to give you a shout out in the very next Massdrop procured item video. Second, anything that I get for this channel that's bought with the credit from the Massdrop website, even if it's just 1 credit and I have to pay the rest myself, that's automatically going to be a giveaway item, no matter how cool, no matter how awesome it is. So it's good for you guys, it's good for me, it helps out, it's awesome. And Massdrop really does have a lot of really good stuff. I mean, they have their own line of made just for the website stuff. They also have really cool stuff. They have, just go ahead and check out some of the different communities on there. I am personally subscribed to Blades, the DIY Tech, EDC, Outdoors, and Hobby Shop. A lot more out there that you can look at, different categories and everything. Anyway, okay, so plug is done. Let's get to testing out this blade. This is one of those ones where you don't need to push the blade, you just got to let it drop through the paper. And let's see, some really fine little curlies. Yeah. Really fine little stuff. Excellent, excellent blade. I mean, I had no doubt from what I've read, the reviews, from my experience with the other knife, I was expecting this thing to just rock and roll through stuff. And that is just pushing the blade. That's not even slicing along the blade. Let's give it a slice to see how well that does. It's like cutting nothing when you give it a little slice. It just cuts so fast. It reminds me in a way, I don't know why, in a weird way, of the Benchmade 710. I don't know why it's striking me like that right now. But this knife, bit big for some people for their EDC. I get it. A lot of people like an EDC knife to be, 3 inches or less. This is a large blade. It is, but weight and balance is good. Like I said, comfortable, nice engineering to get to that lock. No problems with one-handed operation at all. Solid lockup. It's the kind of knife where I would want to do custom stuff to it, but it just doesn't even need it. I mean, I could. I can imagine stuff, but it's just so well engineered and everything. It's a really beautiful knife. And again, in a price range that is much more affordable than some knives that I would say from some of the bigger brands, that some match this quality, some don't even match this quality. Like, I've seen some CRKTs that I wouldn't even say are as good as this in terms of quality and design and everything, but that are more expensive. So another great option from Bestech. I'm happy to have it in the collection. So please definitely check out that referral code in the video description. Think about using it. Also, while you're there, if you've got a good question for me for the next Q&A video, I've got the email address QuestionsForDocP@gmail.com in there, as well as a link to my Facebook page if you just want to check it out and see what's going on there, or get in touch with me and send me a message and whatever else. And as always, if you want to join the Patreon team and see what's up with that too, there's a link to my Patreon page in there, so you can take a look at all those. I will carry this one with me. I'll give it some pocket time. I'll put it through some daily use. Nothing crazy. And if there's anything that is like abnormally great, abnormally bad, any other problems, I'll be back with a follow-up video. It's a gorgeous knife, but I think it'll make someone really, really happy to get this in the next big channel giveaway. You guys agree? Yeah? Finish. Gorgeous. So, in the meantime, I appreciate every single one of you. You are all absolutely awesome, and I'll be back again real soon.